Okay, guys, what is up, and welcome to this, I don't want to say review, but reaction video, I suppose would be the correct word for it. Reaction video, really giving you our thoughts on the whole WWE, I was almost going to say 2K16. God, I actually fucking randomly did type in the fucking title 2K16 draft. Good God, man. I always do that, but I'll have to change that in the title. But no, this is our whole thoughts and reactions to the draft. I don't know how long this video is going to be. We will go in depth, and as such, we will actually aim to deliver the best fucking video possible for you guys. So, you know, I just want to say before we start that some views I will say that you won't agree with. If so, put it down in the comment section. You know, hopefully we can have a chat and see what's what. And basically just, you know, share opinions on that. It's always nice to do that, isn't it? So basically, the whole draft started off kind of weirdly, man. I mean, I will say one thing before, you know, I say anything else, and before we do go on to say anything else about the draft. There was no surprise returns. Now, based on everything we've heard over the past, it's been about 2 months since they initially announced it. They definitely announced it sometime back in May. But yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Like, there were no returns. Or I mean, we had Kurt Angle rumored. You know, I know that's one of the big names. But we even had dudes like Jimmy Wang Yang rumored. We even had random fucking people. Hell, Shelton Benjamin, Carlito. Thank you, Shamus. Yeah, Carlito, all of these kind of people, you know. I was even secretly hoping that Deuce and Domino would be drafted to SmackDown. That is how crazy the rumor mill had gotten.
And one, I thought Goldberg would be coming too.
You're a mark. You're a mark. You. Goldberg, man. Goldberg is shit, man. You're just a mark. He'll be coming soon because he's in the game cover. See, that's one of the things a lot of people probably won't agree with, but I don't like Goldberg. I don't care for Goldberg. Don't give a shit about Goldberg. But alas, let's get into the draft itself. So the first pick of the overall draft was Seth Rollins, and he headed to Raw. And I know you predicted him to go to SmackDown in your head. You predicted Roman Reigns to go to Raw, and you predicted Seth to go to SmackDown. I knew you did your head. In your head.
I already knew that Dean Ambrose would go to SmackDown.
You didn't know Dean Ambrose would go to SmackDown.
Yeah?
He was the WWE champion, man. Don't lie.
What, do you think that Stephanie want Dean Ambrose on Raw?
See, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a fantasy, like, random WWE fan. Like, he's caught up in between being a member of the realist, and he refuses to believe it's real. He refuses... No, it's fake, sorry. He refuses...
I already knew that Seth Rollins will go.
No.
Stephanie loves... Who loves Seth Rollins? Stephanie.
No, but...
Stephanie tried off Raw, and Seth will go to Raw.
Yeah, but come on, man. You're bullshitting me. If
I'm not bullshitting.
You're bullshitting me if you actually thought Ambrose would go to SmackDown. Like, you're bullshitting me. Nobody fucking thought that. Like, nobody fucking thought that, in my opinion. All the people that I've spoken to on forums, on Twitter, none of them told me that they thought Dean Ambrose would go in SmackDown. With that being said, though, Shamus did jump the gun. So we will say the first pick for SmackDown was Dean Ambrose, the WWE champion. We are still no clearer in determining whether there is going to be 2 championship belts. You'd have to imagine that there will be, though, considering that WWE quietly took the world heavyweight part of the title belt's name out of the equation. So, with that being said, you know, I suppose it's all right, but you know, maybe there will be a new title. I don't want that to happen personally. I reckon the WWE title should be defended on both brands. Just like the Undisputed title back in the day when Undertaker held it. Why not? Simply because, here's my reasons. The World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown was treated as a secondary title, barely a cut above the Intercontinental and United States Championship. But Ambrose going to SmackDown and Rollins being on Raw, certainly for me, is good stuff. I don't know if Ambrose being on SmackDown is necessarily the best thing, but then again, that's probably got a lot to do with the stigma of SmackDown being a shitter show than Raw over the last, say, 7 years or so. You know, back in possibly 04, 05, 06, and even 07, maybe even 08, SmackDown, in my opinion, was definitely the better show. So we move on, and the next pick for Raw, the second overall pick for Raw was indeed Charlotte. Now, I know Shamus won't have a major opinion on the women. Feel free to jump in if you want. But this is a statement of intent. The WWE Women's Champion, Charlotte, drafted second to Raw. That says that WWE want to do serious things with their fucking divas. Now, let's be real, right? Everyone, maybe not the superstars themselves, but everyone out there stuck to the script. Vince McMahon wouldn't actually let these two draft random superstars and say, hey, make the best of it. I don't think that would ever happen. It was all scripted and that. But fucking hell, what a statement of intent for the women's division. That is as awesome as, you know, it gets. As much as you can fucking try and argue otherwise. Roman Reigns, John Cena and that. Charlotte was fucking Raw's second pick, and it was incredible. Moving on to SmackDown's second pick, and in my opinion, the first real moment of controversy or divided opinion. Now, you don't have to agree with me. So if I say anything that you don't agree with, feel free to jump in, yeah? But for me, AJ Styles, now, everybody who's a wrestling fan should know AJ Styles. The sad truth is, everyone who is a wrestling fan don't know or didn't know who AJ Styles was before he came to WWE. Now, drafting him over to SmackDown, while SmackDown did need star power, possibly is a bad decision. I truly believe SmackDown should have drafted another big name. I don't necessarily know who that big name could have been. Hell, let's just come out and say Shinsuke Nakamura. SmackDown should have drafted him instead of AJ Styles. Why? Because I truly believe, even though SmackDown is now live and hardcore wrestling fans will watch it, I still believe that there are fans out there that will still only tune into Raw. Hell, in about 2 weeks' time, I may become one of them. Simply because I didn't think last night's live SmackDown was very good. I like the fact that it was 2 hours. In fact, I felt that I could handle it more and pay more attention to it because I knew it was only 2 hours long. But then we stayed up and watched the aftermath of the draft on the WWE Network that we will deal with in this draft review. So, you know, it all came to shit. We stayed up for 3 hours anyway. But AJ Styles was drafted to SmackDown, a relatively new face that I feel needed to stay on Raw, you know, to get a bit more momentum and shit and to be more well known. Because if people stop watching SmackDown, they'll stop watching AJ Styles. Obviously, they hope that won't happen. But it's a really weird draft, mate. It was really weird. Saying that, though, have you got anything to say about AJ Styles, or do you agree, disagree with what I said? So, yeah, Sham agrees. So let's move on to Raw's third pick and Finn Balor. Now, I know you don't watch NXT as much as me, but I know you know who Finn Balor is. Now, Finn Balor drafted straight after AJ. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not a coincidence. I'm not going to try and spoil too much. I mean, I will say this. They did break up the club. I know I said I wasn't going to try and spoil too much, but I can't hold it in. They did break up the club. So, AJ Styles has gone to SmackDown. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have gone to Raw. They will stay on Raw. Stay, go, I don't know, depending on whatever the fuck. You know, is it staying on Raw if you've already been on Raw? Or is it going, you know, it's staying on Raw, basically. They are staying on Raw. And now the club will become Balor Club. Mark my words. Finn Balor, the first draft pick from NXT. Maybe it was too early for an NXT pick, but let's be honest. Finn Balor was one of the few people I would say could have came into WWE, skipped NXT, and fucking completely gone up to the main roster. If you've never seen New Japan Pro Wrestling, you are missing something, my friends, and you are missing the Demon Finn Balor. Excellent. I love Kane, but fuck the Demon Kane. You ain't seen anything until you've seen Balor wrestle, man. It's crazy as hell. And Balor will now replace Styles as the head of the Balor Club. Finally, I can stop calling him just the club. He will replace Styles as the leader of the Balor Club. Please be a babyface group. I could just see Finn Balor going one-on-one with a babyface on Raw next week in his debut match. And they do the same shit. Like, oh, I didn't know the club was going to interfere as they did with AJ Styles. Dude, we're not really like that. I fear them doing that. WWE thinks we don't remember shit, but we do. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm mega excited for Finn Balor. And I sit up in my chair as I say this. The 4th draft pick for Raw, Roman Reigns. Boy, the booze. The booze. And not the drinking booze. The booze from the mouth was crazy. And to think there is a chance that this guy, this drug user, can come back and win the title on Sunday. If Vince McMahon, there's rumors that Vince McMahon wasn't wanting to push him anymore. If that was true, dude, draft him to SmackDown. I mean, I'm not saying SmackDown like is the shitter show. I think they drafted poorer, in my opinion, and I think there's more young guys there, sprinkled with a few veterans. I think SmackDown will be slightly more of a wrestling purist show. But it is, with that being said, and as I'm going through these drafts and reading them, I'm actually beginning to let it sink in on me because, you know, we're from the UK. We was watching this at 1 o'clock in the morning. We were tired as fuck anyway because we watched Raw the night before, as you could probably tell by looking at the both of us. But, wow. Roman Reigns drafted to Raw. I don't know what much I've got to say about that. I suppose it shows WWE have still got a measure of faith in Roman Reigns, but please do not let him actually win the title again. SmackDown's 3rd pick and the overall 7th pick of the draft, John Cena. Star power. Nothing else needs to be said. This was the rumored draft pick along with Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns or both being on Raw. It's how it did actually turn out. I was surprised to see Cena get drafted 7th, to be honest. And I suppose it's just a rhyme of the times now, to be fair, that Cena would get drafted so late. But he gives SmackDown some much-needed star power. I'll be sad not to see Cena on Raw because I'm one of the few people, excuse me, I'm one of the few people that isn't necessarily a fan of John Cena. Like, I'm not one of those let's go Cena people, but I'm not a Cena sucks person either. I know Cena's got passion for him, and I'm just not seeing that on Raw. So, I don't know, man. This is a whole number of things we're going to have to wait and see. Have you got any thoughts on Cena to SmackDown?
Nah, I think he'll be okay on SmackDown, but it'll be a miss on Raw too.
I don't know, man. I'm going to something at the end of this review that a lot of people might not agree with, but, you know, that's the whole theme of the review so far. So, with the 5th pick for SmackDown, for Raw, sorry, Brock Lesnar. It was obvious that obviously Brock would go to Raw, but what drives me nuts is, dude, why are you giving a draft pick to some guy that's literally not even there? Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but Brock Walker, this is Brock's schedule most of the time. And hell, let's remember that from 2012 to 2015, it was even less than this. WWE managed to squeeze more dates out of Brock in 2015. That's why he's been appearing slightly more often. But let's be real. This is Brock's schedule, or there roundabouts. Royal Rumble, pay-per-view itself, and then that's it. He'll disappear. He'll do like 2 weeks before the Rumble, then he'll disappear for God knows how long. He may wrestle at Fastlane. He may, well, no, he will wrestle at WrestleMania, but he'll wrestle at Fastlane. He'll wrestle at Mania. So he does do 3 pay-per-views then, right? Which is cool.
Then he comes back
But
for Battleground and SummerSlam.
not even Battleground, bro. Last year was a myth because fucking, you know, there were a few injuries floating around. That's why they paid him like an extra $1 million to do Battleground and shit. That's what I'm saying. You're under the perception that this guy will work more pay-per-views every year. We ain't going to get like last year. Lesnar's only going to be, look, think about it. This year, he's only worked Rumble, Fastlane, WrestleMania, and we're in July already. He's going to work SummerSlam. He may, and I say might just about work Survivor Series. Maybe. There's a brief chance that he might work Survivor Series. How many pay-per-views is that? Rumble, Fastlane, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. 4 pay-per-views out of 12. That means he's literally there for a third of the time. Give or take the couple of weeks he does appear on Raw. The rest he has Heyman doing the talking. What I'm saying is, why have Lesnar as a draft pick, even in general, when you could have given it to an NXT guy? Shinsuke Nakamura or anyone? I don't know. Let's move on. Randy Orton, SmackDown's 4th pick. Again, star power. At least SmackDown is being taken seriously. With all of Randy Orton's injury problems and the fact that he's rumored to be taking a liking to time off, I don't know, man. Let's see how it pans out. What do you reckon on Randy Orton?
Yeah, it's a good pick for them. They did.
Shamus is more positive, more optimistic than me, but I'm not so sure. The 10th pick overall and the 6th one for Raw, we get a tag team, and not any tag team, the tag team champions, the New Day. Now, it looks like they're not splitting up just yet, and even if they do, all 3 of them will remain on Raw. So Raw does actually get 3 superstars there. That's crazy, actually, to be fair. New Day on Raw. Tag team titles on Raw.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there'll be new tag team titles?
No.
I'm not a fan of there being new belts created. I'm really not. But what I will say I'm shocked with, and I know I'm breaking away from it briefly, but with Sami Zayn being the next pick for Raw, I'm kind of not. There's a reason Sami Zayn was picked for Raw. He can now compete in the cruiserweight division for Raw's new cruise. He won't actually compete for the title, but he will be allowed to compete for that title after. So Raw's 7th pick is Sami Zayn, the 11th pick overall, and I love that Sami Zayn was picked so highly because that basically makes him not a mid-carder. And speaking of people who have been taken seriously and who are not mid-carders anymore, SmackDown's 5th pick, Bray Wyatt. What do you reckon?
It looks like the Wyatt family got split up there.
Spoilers, bro, motherfuckers. Spoilers. We're not there yet, dude. We have to do it in order, bro. You can't go spoiling the draft like that. What if people haven't seen the draft yet? What if people are living under rocks or fucking in houses with no internet? Can't spoil it. Go away.
All right.
Fucking. Basically, my guys just spoiled it here, but Bray Wyatt was left without 1 or 2 of his compatriots, but he's been drafted to SmackDown. It gives Wyatt some time to invest in his character and not have to, and not against the likes of Rollins and fucking Roman Reigns and Finn Balor and all these guys for the screen time. But then again, he does have to compete against Randy Orton, John Cena, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose. I'm scared that Wyatt will never ever get the recognition he deserves. I wanted Wyatt to be on Raw. I was disappointed to see him on SmackDown.
But now, yeah, he got a chance to become face too.
Dude, they were going to pull the trigger on a face turn when they attacked the League of Nations after WrestleMania. The only reason they didn't is because Luke Harper got injured and Bray kind of got injured himself. If it would have been only one of them, then they would have kept them all faces. But the fact that they didn't actually fully complete the turn because Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt got injured. Hell, Luke Harper wasn't even drafted. Injured people can't get drafted, so he may pop up on SmackDown. Okay. The number 8th pick for Raw and the number 13 pick overall, Sasha Banks to Raw. Absolutely 100% needed. The first/second best women's wrestler in the company. Enough said. Enough said. Basically, that is what it is. I mean, Charlotte, I believe, is a good enough wrestler to have got picked high up anyway. But at least Sasha Banks is on Raw. And as these drafts progress, you'll get the feeling, much like I do, that even though they are trying to put power into SmackDown, they truly don't believe that SmackDown will be an on-par show. And you'll begin to see that with the later draft picks, in my opinion. Not shying away from the women's SmackDown's 6th pick, Becky Lynch. I'm absolutely gutted. I'm a big Becky Lynch fan. I'm absolutely gutted to see her not on Raw. I mean, does she even get to compete for the women's title now? What's going on? Are the titles exclusive? See, nothing was even told to us about that, man. But I suppose, and I'm not going to spoil anything, the only thing that makes me happy about that is now Becky Lynch has got the chance to shine like she can. She's a good fucking wrestler. She's just been put on the back burner by WWE behind Charlotte, Sasha, and even a third one. Who was the fucking third one? Even Paige and Natalya. Like, you know, it's not fair, man. It's not fair, but now Becky will get her chance. The number 9 pick for Raw, the number 15th overall, Jericho. Thoughts?
Yeah, you should have. It's a good one for Raw.
See, this guy loves Jericho, and he'll think I'm a stupid idiot for saying this, but again, I can't, and I like Jericho better than Brock Lesnar, right? Because I know Jericho at least loves wrestling. But again, I will say the same thing as I said about Brock Lesnar. Jericho's going to be gone in a few months. Or maybe just after the Royal Rumble when Fozzy starts touring again. Excuse me, sorry about the cough. But no, his draft pick could have gone to someone else. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm happy that Jericho is still on Raw. I believe his promo work is the best it's been since 2008. Drink it in, man. So, number 10 for Raw. Number 16 overall, Rusev, the United States champion. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think I'm happy for him.
Rusev gets to dominate on the flagship show. It's needed if they are going to continue this push. Number 17 and the 7th pick for SmackDown, they fire right back and get a champion of their own. The Miz, with Maurice, apparently. You can draft couples together, which someone better tell about Del Rio and Paige. Oh, no, you can't, because you guys got drafted to different shows. Sorry, puppy. You didn't get drafted to the same show. Number 18 and number 11 overall. And actually, I will, before I go on to anything else, Daniel Bryan's delivery, I really don't want to pick The Miz, but I have to. That really fucking hurt The Miz. He can't be taken seriously. Number 18 and number 11 for Raw. I can't believe it took this long. Sami Zayn was picked before him. KO Mania, Kevin Owens.
I love that.
It would be heartbreaking if Kevin Owens was on SmackDown.
Fast.
I mean, I'm not saying I won't watch SmackDown. I will give it a try, but I'm scared after this draft that's as good as it could be. That's what I'm scared about.
Give it.
Exactly. It will give it some time, but I'm scared it won't be. They had the potential to make it amazing, and they didn't. And with that being said, SmackDown's next pick, and you'll begin to see the pattern now. I mean, you guys probably did watch the draft. You know, SmackDown's next pick, Baron Corbin.
Why the heck do you want to pick him?
11 as well. Need I remind you, 8th pick, for SmackDown.
The problem is, why the heck you want to pick him, if you can easily pick Enzo Amore, Cass to join on SmackDown. Why you want to pick him for?
That's exactly what I was going to say. At this point, let's remind you, just to name a few, you still had Enzo and Cass, the Club, fucking Cesaro. I mean, even if you're looking for a bit of star power, you still even had Del Rio.
And also,
which they ended up getting anyway.
And also, didn't even Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon knew, look, Raw's doing already. They got 6 superstars.
The amount of times that they made Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan look stupid because they were tearing up their paper.
Yeah, and they freaking got chances to get 6-star Raw. They Enzo Amore, Cass. Who else were there?
The club.
Yeah, the club. Even the Big Show. And they still got what? Baron
You got
Corbin.
even the Big Show, and it's funny you should say that because I agree. Like, I know they were trying to do the whole young gun thing, but Baron Corbin, man, you need some credibility. You need some veterans on SmackDown, and we didn't get that. Even you could have drafted the Big Show. Clearly, they don't have faith in Baron Corbin. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. This guy's been. Look, let me see.
He came here, right? He just been playing with Dolph Ziggler. That's it.
Playing?
Yeah, like fighting with him. That's it. Well, we're in love with him or something.
That's exactly the point. Now, I mean, look, he won the Memorial Battle Royal. Raw. Next time, Ziggler. Next pay-per-view pre-show, Ziggler. Oh my god, man, hell.
And what now? He's beefing with Kalisto or something. Now looks like it. I don't think Baron Corbin.
Dude, spoilers! You can't spoil the fact that he's beefing up with Kalisto. Or is that really spoilers?
Maybe, I don't know.
Considering he attacked him last night on Raw. Okay, I'll let you off. But you can't spoil it for the viewers. Stop saying spoilers.
Alright.
You can't say things that we haven't already told them that happened yet.
All right.
Relax. I know you're excited, but come on. You can't be this excited about this shit draft. And again, Shamus just basically spoiled it for you guys, so we'll let you in again. Enzo Amore and Big Cass and the club were the 12th and 13th picks for Raw, respectively. Dude, they just got 4 superstars to SmackDown's 1. But it is 3 hours, so there is more time to fill. I don't know. I'm happy that Enzo and Cass are together for what it's worth. They did announce that tag teams would be kept together. I mean, fair play. I mean, that's brilliant and shit. I feel like I'm fucking missing something here, man. I mean, it is somewhat difficult to put it into words, but at least they're on Raw and they get the chance. But this is when I really began fearing for SmackDown. Enzo Amore, Big Cass, and the club. The right move, definitely for the club to be on Raw. I was sad that they broke out of AJ Styles, but then as soon as I saw Finn Balor on Raw, I knew it was going to happen. Balor Club will come. But, man, poor fucking SmackDown. They were getting done. They were getting done. And it was at this point you really began to fear for them because their night of picks, although this pick was good, I'm not going to say that. Their night of pick was American Alpha, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan. Basically, Team Angle. Team Angle from 2003 and 2016. These guys are going to rip up the tag team division. I wish them the best of luck. Drafted from NXT, your second pick, I believe, from NXT. 14 goes in with the Big Show. I suppose, for Raw, goes in with the Big Show. It's an established wrestler, but he's not been around recently. Why is he getting drafted on TV? It's ridiculous. Save that spot for someone else. SmackDown then fires back with a veteran of their own, their 10th pick, Dolph Ziggler. It looks like they're putting all the newcomers plus all the stale people on SmackDown, so I can admire what they're trying to do. Raw gets 2 picks next. Their 15th and 16th picks. Nia Jax, the NXT Diva, the 3rd NXT pick from the draft.
It looked like the Divas were doing okay.
Raw was taking the Divas, basically.
Yep.
What do you reckon about Nia Jax? And I know you haven't seen much.
I haven't seen her, but
in terms of her size and that, can she be an incriminating presence? Like, you know, funny enough, we were watching Karma on the WWE network. For those of you that don't know Karma, she appeared briefly in WWE between 2011 and 2012, formerly known as Awesome Kong in TNA. Probably still is there. I don't fucking know. But yeah, Nia Jax can be a badass heel and give someone like Sasha Banks. I guarantee you Sasha Banks will win the belt at SummerSlam, and then her first opponent, if Nia Jax can avoid fucking up immensely between now and then, will be Nia Jax. Classic underdog versus huge, powerful Goliath-like monster storyline waiting to happen. Happy for Nia Jax. I'm not going to say that she deserves it more than a few other divas, but fuck it, girl. Show me what you got. I'm not going to judge you before, you know, before I've seen too much of you. I've seen some Nia Jax in NXT. She did all right. The returning from injury Neville was drafted at number 16 on Raw. Anything to say about that? I reckon it'll be good for Neville to get his momentum back on the main show. It was probably needed. And, you know, it was probably needed and probably the right call, considering if he got drafted to SmackDown, people that don't watch SmackDown or people that are not willing to give SmackDown a chance would have forgot about Neville, basically. It's difficult, to say the least. But the 11th pick and the 27th pick overall for SmackDown, Natalya. I suppose they needed divas and went with a veteran. That is all I can really say about that. 28th pick overall and the 17th for Raw, Antonio, don't call me my first name, Cesaro, and he was the 17th pick for Raw. Interestingly enough, when Cesaro gave an interview later on in the night, I think it was like a shoot, man, or it was either a shoot or a really good work shoot, because Cesaro, he went in hard, and I was kind of conked out, like kind of in and out, but oh man, he was like, when he asked how Shane and Stephanie, like JoJo was feeding him lines, like, how do you feel about this? Can Shane and Stephanie Stephanie and Mick Foley coexist? How do you feel about this? Blah blah blah. And he's like, listen, bruv, I've just had too many roadblocks. I was drafted 17th. What the fuck? That was basically what he said. And the same came from this next man, the number 12 pick for SmackDown and the 29th overall, Alberto Del Rio. Another veteran on SmackDown to work with the young guys. Good move, in my opinion. Del Rio would have got squished on Raw, man. His character's got stale, sadly. And funny enough, for the last pick, Sheamus, exactly the same reason, but I don't know, man. He should have gone to SmackDown too, but whatever. I don't really know. Call it quits. Sheamus was the final televised draft pick as well. I mean, where are the returns? I don't fucking know. We then do go on to the fucking WWE network, and for those of you that didn't have the network, this was bullshit as well, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have minded SmackDown Live being 3 hours. I mean, I say that I wouldn't have said that then when it started, because I was like, fuck off, shit, I'm tired. But we actually stayed up to watch this fucking extra hour anyway. So it don't really fucking matter. We watched it in the end anyway. So make some more picks on TV. Pick superstars that matter, man. Don't fucking pick Sheamus, or don't do it on the network, because it fucks people over who don't have the network, just like you did with your shitty title match ending the other night. Anyway, 31 pick, first one on the network, number 19 overall, the Golden Truth. I like the Golden Truth.
Yeah, I'm happy they're in Raw.
They're okay. They decided to stay together.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered where they gone, and that's that. Number 32 overall and 13 for SmackDown, the Usos. What do you reckon?
I'm happy they're on SmackDown. I'm happy they didn't have been drafted.
It continues the stale factor, and this is me, because I know I'm never going to stop watching Raw because all the main shit happens there. But I know I'm giving SmackDown 3 weeks of a chance. So if I so choose to, I can just zone out from the Usos. And I think that's what I love about most of the stale superstars going to SmackDown to reinvent themselves. I don't like the Usos, and I'm happy they're split up with Roman, who's on Raw, because hopefully I won't hate them that much. And they actually acknowledged that on Raw, on the the draft panel, which was funny. Number 33 and 20th for Raw, the first pick on the network, Titus O'Neil on Raw.
I think he's okay on Raw.
Number 14 and 34 overall, the Demon, unfortunately the part-time Demon, Kane on SmackDown. What a weird draft.
Yeah, I think SmackDown needed a Kane up there.
Interesting point, Shamus. Why did they need Kane?
Why? One, there's two. One, you can. If he's stressed out, he can talk with his old tag team partner.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan. Team Hell No.
Yeah, if he's freaking up there, angry, Rudy or something.
Where's Dr. Shelby when you need him?
Yep. And I felt like they was not even getting no good picks.
Yeah, I actually rated Kane as a pick, to be fair.
Yeah.
A veteran to work with the young guys on SmackDown. Next, we have Raw with picks number 21 and 22, 35 and 36 overall. Paige, Del Rio, your girlfriend's not on the same show as you. You work in different nights, sucker. Paige, remove your tattoo. But at least it shows that WWE still cares enough about Paige to fucking put her on Raw. But saying that, her career has fucking nosedive in the past couple of years, or even the past year. It's time to make Darren Young great again, and that is what they're trying to do by putting him on Raw. Although that tells me immediately there is no way he's winning the Intercontinental title on Sunday.
Looks like it.
Because there's no way that Raw will have both titles, both mid-card titles. And it was kind of funny because I kind of knew this was coming. 15 and 23 for SmackDown and Raw, respectively. Fucking hell, SmackDown really did get a number on. Eventually, Raw got double the picks, man, if you add it all up. But Sin Cara and Kalisto for SmackDown, Sin Cara for Raw. Why would you put the botch fest that is Sin Cara on Raw? Hell, even Kalisto botches, but not as bad as Sin Cara. The Lucha Dragons did say they were split up. I see Sin Cara just getting destroyed by fucking... Hell, Nia Jax can defeat Sin Cara. Yeah. That's how crazy it is. Number 16 for SmackDown and 39 overall. Naomi onto SmackDown. That's pretty good, man. In all fairness, like, they needed more divas. They only fucking had 2. It's okay, man. I suppose it's all right. Jack Swagger onto Raw. He's a sleeper candidate, as Renee Young put it. He can actually do a bit better than what people think he can. Connor and Victor the Ascension on SmackDown simply to bolster the tag team division. The Dudleys, the same thing. Zack Ryder on SmackDown, which is work with the young guys, maybe get more team time, more screen time. And the funny thing about that is the titles could end up switching at the end of Battleground. If Zack Ryder wins the United States title and Darren Young wins the Intercontinental title, then the 2 title belts could switch over. And that'll be a really interesting thing. Summer Rae, for whatever reason, on Raw, she probably would have been a bit better on SmackDown simply because she's a bit more of a veteran than the next diva that was drafted. Anyway, whatever. Apollo Crews continuing SmackDown's young gun approach. Drafted at number 19 for them. He's going to get some screen time there. He would have got squished on Raw and his career would have faded into oblivion, like it kind of has done since he made his main roster debut. At least there he can show his stuff. Mark Henry drafted to Raw. My only problem with that is if you're going to draft Mark Henry as your veteran presence on Raw, why did you do the same with the Big Show? I don't know. Number 20 for SmackDown and number 46 overall for the draft. Alexa Bliss. You don't know much about Alexa Bliss, so I'll let you off. Don't just say no like that. Bad. You can't dismiss poor Alexa Bliss just like that. You can't just say no. You can say, oh, no, I know. So rude.
No, I don't.
So rude to Alexa Bliss. She will do okay. You can't, if you want to bring her up, fair play, but you can't fucking bring her up to Raw and get destroyed by the bright lights of Monday Night Raw. Speaking of people who you shouldn't draft to Raw, what the fuck is Braun Strowman gonna do on his own? He can't wrestle. He can't talk. The only thing he can do is play a bodyguard for what?
Simple thing is this then. I know Luke Harper hasn't been drafted yet. If he came back here, would you come back and Raw and like help him out?
Interesting theory. I don't know, man, but Luke Harper.
That's right or wrong.
It's an interesting theory, but Luke Harper's still going to be injured for another couple of months. Again, with I don't know about that, man. Braun Strowman, what the fuck's he going to do on his own? Seriously. I feel sorry for him. I'll worry for him. He's going to get released in 1 year, maybe even 6 months. Breezango, filling out the tag team division on SmackDown. I suppose it's all good. The 29th pick and 50th pick overall, the 29th pick for Raw. Bo Dallas, if you believe you will get drafted to Raw, best of luck to him. Unfortunately, I wanted to see him on SmackDown to team up with his real life brother Bray Wyatt, but you know, whatever. I want the Wyatt family to be the real Wyatt family, man. Bring in fucking Bo Dallas, bring in Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas's real life sister Mika, and you got fucking some real shit. Thank God that this next diva who was drafted to SmackDown didn't count as an NXT pick. Although looking back on it, you probably hope that she did. Eva Marie, thank God I won't have to see you botch on Raw. The Shining Stars on Raw, this is where it kind of got shit now. The Vaudevillains on SmackDown, at least they can reinvent themselves. What the fuck were they thinking about drafting the Shining Stars to Raw, considering the fact that they've only had one match? I don't know, it's crazy shit. Alicia Fox drafted to Raw. She showed some talent a couple of years ago. Hopefully she can do the same this time around. Eric Rowan, thank God a Wyatt family member joins Bray Wyatt. Brilliant. Dana Brooke, who needs to still learn and is green as fuck and can't wrestle that well. No disrespect, Dana. Continues to learn from Charlotte, getting drafted to Raw. Mojo Rawley, the NXT superstar, drafted to SmackDown, keeping the young gun approach. And the social outcasts were worried they'd get broken up. Never fear. Joe Henning, I refuse to say Curtis Axel. Joe Henning has been drafted to Raw. Social outcasts are still brilliant. And then Carmella, for those of you that don't know who Carmella is, she is from NXT. She is the real life girlfriend of Big Cass. And apparently you can teach that. Big Cass has got himself a good looking girl. Congratulations, Big Cass. Number 59. We were promised a 60th draft pick. And I'll let you guys in on who that is now. Although it doesn't say it officially, the 60th draft pick and heading to Raw, it's Bayley. And Bayley will be Sasha Banks' partner at Battleground. Is it Battleground? It is Battleground, yeah. It is Battleground. Even though that's not official, so don't go hyped and say it's official. But it's notes from Wikipedia say 2 tag teams were broken up. The Wyatts, the Lucha Dragons were already fucking separated prior to the draft, and AJ Styles and the club. And yeah, man.
There's one team that got broken up too. The Social Outcast.
Heath Slater was the only active talent listed by WWE as eligible for the draft who was not drafted. Sorry, Heath.
He wasn't believing, man. Bo told him to do it.
The way he looks so crestfallen as well, it's funny as hell. Okay, well, let's get on to our final thoughts on the draft. Initially, I thought it was SmackDown's first 6 picks were brilliant. Since then, after that, they just got destroyed, man. They picked a few young guns, which I suppose is all right. But I don't want NXT 2.0, man. I want SmackDown Survival Raw like the good old days. It's certainly a worry. We'll have to see how everything plans out. Like I said, I'll give it a couple of weeks. I don't know whether you guys will give it a lot, but for me, the draft disappointed. There was a serious lack of returns, what we were promised beforehand, and I'm very disappointed in that. Bloody hell, it's sweaty as hell. I was very disappointed in that. No Kurt Angle, no Carlito, no Shelton Benjamin, no fucking Deuce and Domino, man. It was disappointing. Anyway, guys, it was just a disappointing draft in general, in my opinion. I think Raw did get the better roster. SmackDown was mainly focused on youth. But like I said, if I wanted NXT 2.0, I would have said. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning into this draft. No one said what's happening to Heath Slater yet. Maybe he's going to need to go to the job center or something. I don't fucking know. And Bayley, they did leave an extra pick. We were meant to get 30 picks on the network. Bayley has been drafted. I can assure you of that. Deep down inside, you guys must know it too. Bayley has been drafted to Raw, and she will be Sasha Banks' partner at Battleground. I will eat my hat if it's not the truth. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't know how long this video was. Sorry if it's too long, but we're out. Peace.